you all for coming out on a glorious evening here in Temecula. It's been just as beautiful in Sacramento, and I'll tell you that it's been quite a whirlwind since January the 6th. And I've been taking the last 12 weeks of my time meeting a lot of people in Sacramento of incredible disciplines, meeting with fellow senators on both sides of the aisle, developing relationships. I've been placed on some very good committees. I'm on the Labor Committee. I'm on the Public Safety Committee, which was my first choice, and I want to thank my friends at the Highway Patrol and the police departments for being here today. In the Capitol, they do a good job of keeping the governor safe and keeping my colleagues and myself safe. And I'm also on the Natural Resources and Water Committee, which is very important, especially with the water crisis that we're in today. And I'm also on the Budget Subcommittee 3, which is health. And I'm using my medical background to ensure that people get the quality health care that they deserve in the state of California with this new experiment we have called the Affordable Health Care Act. And let me tell you, it's got problems. When you learn that 1/3 of the state's on Medi-Cal, 50% of all of our children are on Medi-Cal, but we don't have any doctors that want to participate in Medi-Cal because we can't even pay them a wage that allows them to keep their lights on. So I'm working on getting a realistic Medi-Cal fee so we can take care of our neediest of the needy in our state of California. And one thing that I've learned in the state is that you have to become a subject matter expert really fast if you really want to be a contributor. You hit the ground running. So I become a fracking expert, and there's a lot of fracking that's going on in Central California that pumps up 2 million barrels of oil every day. And I would like to tell you that we should be embracing all these jobs and energy independence, but there's actually people in Sacramento that want to close these businesses down. And most of you know, I can be very polite on a dais, but I can't help myself in expressing myself. And I said we cannot overregulate these people out of work in the state of California time when our unemployment numbers are so high. I didn't know I was going to make the front page of the newspapers in Bakersfield. The next thing I know, I've got oil companies calling me and wanting to have interviews with me and how we can, make sure that everything is transparent. They're not degrading the water supplies. And yesterday it was welfare to work and making sure that we have the appropriate partnerships with the community colleges so we can get people off of welfare, get them trained with our workforce development offices that we have in the county and working with our partners. And I have to tell you that sitting on these committees has been an incredible experience for me because of the 22 years that I spent in local government. I mean, can you imagine going to the state and not knowing what workforce development is, not knowing how the welfare programs work in this state, not knowing the public safety apparatus, and how we've shoved so much of the responsibility down on local government and not sent the check as was promised. Even we have the legislative analyst in the state of California that is kind of the third-party arbiter that keeps the facts straight. So you've got, of course, the administration giving one opinion, then you have department heads giving one opinion, and then you go to the LAO for the right scoop. And when we're talking about shoving all of our prisoners out of the state penitentiaries into our local jails, I made the complaint that we weren't given that guarantee of being fully funded for that. In fact, counties are only getting 60 cents on the dollar to take care of the worst of the worst. And when I said that, other senators looked around in amazement because they thought that we were making counties whole, and I could tell by their disbelief. I said to the LAO, can you please confirm or deny my contention that we're only giving counties 60% of the money to take care of these prisoners and to oversee these prisoners? And they said, Senator Stone, you're 100% right. So I'm building credibility up there, and I'm building credibility up there as a legislator that you can talk to, a legislator that is empathetic for our human conditions in the state of California, empathetic to the people that want to start a business and just want government to get out of their way and let the entrepreneurial spirit of Californians prevail and stop sending all these jobs to Texas and Nevada, and coming up with reform programs that I promised to do during my campaign. I promised I was going to take laws off the books. I've got some bills that do that. I promised laws that were going to hold us accountable fiscally in the state of California and making sure that we're not paying people that are given special privileges because they may have served in the legislature to sit on commissions that may pay them $150,000 a year for meeting part-time. It's time to eliminate the waste. And one thing I've learned on a lot of these committees is they come up with a lot of these great programs to help enhance the quality of life of people. And there are those that believe that the only way we can fund these programs is to raise your taxes. They're not shy about saying they want to do it. And I can tell you, being the most overtaxed state in the entire United States, what they don't look at is efficiencies that could be derived from the wasteful spending that goes on in the state. The wasteful spending that I saw in the county of Riverside when I was there, and we adopted the scrape program that saved the taxpayers hundreds of millions of dollars. And I wanted to basically take the scrape from the county of Riverside and bring it to the state and say, you know, let's turn off the lights when we're not using the building. Let's turn in all the cars. When I got there, they gave me this car. They said, this is your car, Senator Stone. I keep saying supervisor still. I said, I don't need a car. Give it back to the taxpayers. I can get around town here, you know. I brought my own car. So there is so much waste that goes on in the government, and if we could even just utilize technology, we could save literally, not millions, but we could save billions of dollars in the state of California by automation. But there are those in the state that believe that we need to protect those jobs. Computers don't pay union dues, and therefore we have to preserve these jobs to keep perpetuating the problems that we have in the state of California. I make these claims, and I do it respectfully with the other side, knowing that I work with them, and I think they have a respect for my viewpoints. But I really feel compelled to go into that Capitol every day, and I know that I have 1 million people that I represent now. We represent state senators more than a congressional member represents. There's 53 congressional members in the state of California. We have 38 million people, and there are 40 senators. So when I walk into the state capitol, I have 1 million people looking over my shoulder that are holding me accountable on a day-to-day basis. And I want you to know what's going on in the state capitol. I want you to know the challenges that we're facing. We got a lot of things going on in the state of California. You're going to hear from the Sentinel that John's helping me prepare. Every week, I do a televised summary of what went on in the Capitol that particular week. We do a radio announcement that we're giving to radios for public service announcements, because I want you to know what I'm doing on behalf of all of you. And to all of my local government friends and colleagues here today, I'm also standing up for you, because the state of California sees you as a target always, a way that we can push more responsibilities on you without the check. And so I am advocating for our local governments and making sure that we don't impose on you any more than we have, and to lessen some of the responsibilities that we've shoved on you. So I want to welcome you all to this beautiful new office. It is owned by a Murrieta resident that is very gracious. The state of California did not give me a big budget to pay for rent. And I have to have 2 offices, as you can imagine, in a county where I represent the entire width of the state of the county of Riverside, which is, you know, more than 250 miles wide. And lastly, I think what has allowed me to get things done as an elected official now in my 23rd year has not been because of me. It's been because I have surrounded myself by very smart people. In the state of California now, 360,000 wonderful employees that really do work hard to try to help people in the state of California. And there's a lot of people that need help when you consider 25% of our kids live in poverty today. It's a very sad statistic, something that I want to work on and try to lift these kids, lift these families out of poverty. But I'm delighted with my staff that I have, with Glenn and Mary Ann and Gloria, Dr. Matt Ron, who's my CEQA expert. We have a CEQA bill for my fellow colleagues. We have a CEQA bill. It's a very simple one that says loser pays. So if you file a frivolous lawsuit and you're not successful, you better be prepared to pay the city of Murrieta, the city of Wildomar, the city of Lake Elsinore, the city of Temecula's legal fees, because that's not the way it is today. So, it's really been a blessing and an honor to be up in Sacramento. A lot of people told me when I decided I was going to do this how crazy I was. I'm leaving this job where, you know, I just got to go find 2 votes, and you'll read about it the next day in the paper on what you're accomplishing. And I was ready for my next challenge. You know, it was about 10 years. We have a wonderful state. I mean, I fly back and forth every day. I see it. I fly by Yosemite every day. I see Half Dome. We live in the greatest state in the union, and we have so many things going for us that we're not taking advantage of. I hope to be a leader in the state, get the state of California back on track, get government out of our lives wherever we possibly can, and let the entrepreneurial spirit of California take us to new chapters where we've been in the past. So it's an honor to serve you. I don't take this responsibility lightly, and I appreciate all of you. There's a lot of old friends that I've known for many, many years that are here today. What a great homecoming. I thought we were going to have about 25 people coming for a little open house here. So this is all very special. I want to thank you all very much for coming, and keep the lines of communication open. Please contact me. If you're coming to Sacramento, let my staff know that you're coming. If you have a nonprofit organization, put aside an auction for a tour of the Capitol and dinner with me. I mean, I'm happy to help do whatever I can to continue to do the philanthropy that we've been doing in the county of Riverside. So thank you all very much for the opportunity that you've given me. And also, one last person I want to recognize is somebody that's had to learn to live without me. And that's my lovely wife, Regina. I love her so much. It's been a wonderful ride for both of us, and we could not have done it without your confidence in me going up there and fighting for us. So thank you all for coming out here today.
Everyone.
Hold on a second.